What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let some people start rolling in here. We've got a pretty awesome guest to open this up. I'll do a little intro here in just a moment. I'll give you guys a minute or two here to get people rolled in. Make sure everything's working. You can hear us. You know, all that jazz. All right, balls. Slow your roll, man. We'll get to it. All right, guys, welcome to the channel. This is a new series from us. First week out, obviously. It's going to be Saturday nights at 7, right where we are today, 7 my time anyway, 6 o'clock Pacific. And this is what we're going to call the Mixology open mic night. Everybody and their brother's got a YouTube podcast or interview system in that, and I guess we're jumping on the bandwagon there. But I want to do something a little bit different. It's not going to be just breeders and interviewing breeders about snakes. I mean, we're going to talk snakes. It's a snake channel in that. But I just, the last 3 years, I've met some really cool people in this hobby, some really nice guys, a lot of help, that kind of jazz. And this guy we're starting with is no different, and I just wanted to be able to kind of bring that to a lot of the new people, a lot of the people that follow me, and bring another perspective into the hobby. So we're just going to hang out. I don't really have a timeline. We're not going to go on forever, obviously, because you guys, as well as myself, have lives, and I got to get up early for work, and I'm sure he does too. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoy. We've got super chats rolling in already. We'll get to those in just a minute. Let's roll the intro, and we'll get going here. All right, guys, here we are. First man on deck for the open mic night, none other than the podcast YouTube man himself, the voice, freaking MJ. My MJ, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, bro? How you doing, Jason? What's cracking?
Hey, man. It's first of all, I appreciate you coming on, being the guinea pig for this experiment, see if it actually lands, and you've got way more experience in this than I do. So if you see anything that's ridiculous or dumb, let me know, and we'll definitely make it better.
Well, first off, let me just say that's pretty player of you by not telling me in the beginning that I was a guinea pig. Like you told me when I was already on. So that's very smart of you to do. I'll tell you that. But either way, I'm glad to be here, bro. This is easy peasy. StreamYard's very user friendly. So we're good.
Yeah, the system seems to work pretty well. I just have the super basic subscription thing here, so you still see StreamYard up on the screen, whatever. But I was able to get a logo and an intro, so that was pretty rad.
Looks good, man. Just so you know, I like it. Looks sick.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
So, all right, yeah. That's where it's gonna start. There's a lot of people in here and a lot of people on my channel that I assume know who you are. Like I said, you're kind of like the weekly interview dude in that. But in case there's people in here that are not aware of who MJ and MJ Exotic Cartal and the Trap Talk podcast is, man, fucking let yourself roll.
Yeah, man, I'm just a fucking regular dude, man. I'm based out of San Diego, California. I don't have too much experience in this hobby, I should say, or even doing podcasts. The podcast I just started doing not even a year ago. But that all stems from the hobby. It's going to be really hard, I'll tell you right now, Jason. If we're talking about life, the everyday life shit, all my life is the snakes nowadays, bro. So I'll do my best, you know what I mean? But Jesus, man, that's all I live, breathe, eat, and shit. All that stuff is the snakes. It's my life. Other than my wife and my dogs that I love to death, my snakes that's it, bro. That's all I know, man. So that being said, last 4 years have been amazing because of this hobby. Other than the podcast, like I said, podcast came after the fact that I started keeping amazing animals. And I breed ball pythons, the foundation, but I also have a few other projects I work with, like chondros and emerald trees and whatnot. I got a lot of projects I work with, to say that. But I love animals, man. I'm just another dude who fucking loves animals. I'm outspoken. I'm not scared to put myself out there. I guess people come to me and say how hard it is for them to come out and speak, and I never had to experience that. So, but I guess it's helping though. By them watching my show, they say it's helping them come out more, and good for you guys, man. But yeah, I'm just here to fucking have fun, man, and be me. And that's it. And I won't let nobody stop me from being myself, no matter whatever that is. So that's it.
Well, no, dude, man, no doubt. And you know, something I picked up on in your show is like you're certainly not afraid to speak your mind and let people know what's up. And you know, you mentioned your family and that, and your wife's up in the chat here, of course. So we'll say hi to Lily real quick. And yeah, you've got probably one of the strongest support systems I've seen online for sure. And that's a big part of it. You got to have that. You got to have that backing if you're going to do something, you know, arguably kind of taboo or crazy and kind of out of the norm, which is, you know, a big deal here. So yeah, no, that's awesome. So you kind of mentioned it. I know you said that you know, you're all snakes and that, and that's part of the reason I want to get to some of these other people, because I know there's a lot of people that are full time, and there's a lot of people that like me that try to do it on the side. There's people who want to get into both, you know. So you don't have a quote unquote real job. This is your full time gig.
No, I mean my money maker always has been the gym, like the gyms, you know, like the fitness industry, right? It's where I met my wife and stuff. You know, it's she still personal trains and whatnot, but actually has a 9-to-5. But you know, I mean, I've a lot of my, I guess I could say like my financial blessings have come from the fitness industry, and as of right now, our gyms are shut down. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm just another guy just in the limb with this Corona shit, just not knowing what's going to happen. But in the meantime, I'm looking at this as like, if I'm not working, I'm fucking treating this shit as a full-time job. That's why I'm trying to put out more podcasts. That's why I'm literally investing. I mean, I don't know who did I speak to, but oh yeah, Brian. I was talking to Brian Barczyk and Ozzy and them. And I was telling them I made the most money I've ever made in my entire, obviously this is only like, you know, like I haven't been doing this for too long, but I made the most money I've ever did this year off babies, but I've also spent the most money I've ever spent on snakes. Like I'm just like so vested in what I want to do, because what I have around me not only won't be here for the long term, but while I have it, it's all long term to me. So I'm always thinking longevity with anything I'm doing with, you know, what I have.
So are you looking for the end game to be 100% full time?
Oh yeah,
no other deals.
Full time animals. Anything I could do to stay around my animals more, because I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I feel like I'm always doing something. Like every day there's a snake chore. I never have like, oh, it's Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. No, fuck that. Every day there's something that takes at least 2-3 hours of my time. And then there's something else I find that takes another 2 hours. So, I mean, as of now, man, I mean, oh man, it's hard. I have a good taste on what it would be like if I was full time. And at the end of the day, man, I don't want to have to rely on my snakes for money. And I haven't had to do that quite yet. But, you know, the longer this goes, eventually, you know, the money I did have or do have, it's, you know, it's gonna go away, and then I will have to rely on snakes. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want that. I want to look at the snakes as just that cherry on top, my hobby. Like I just enjoy it. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie, man. Snakes done saved my ass 2020, bro. They did. They really did.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. It's not good that you got to be in that position, but that's good news that you've got that backup for sure. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who've been having some real tough times. We were kind of talking before the stream started. It's hard for us to bitch and moan, you know, as crappy of a year as it's been for most people. You know, we still got jobs, we still got an income, we still got, you know, a family and a roof over our head. And that's not true for a lot of people. So, you know, we got to kind of keep it real there for a little bit and realize where we're at. And it's kind of got to keep it in perspective. So
100%, bro. 100%.
I want to give a quick shout out real quick to Balls of Paradise. He actually dropped a super chat right off the hop, man. Didn't even hesitate. MJ in the house, so he's excited to see. I know there's a bunch of people in the chat that are glad that we picked you up first. So
thanks. Man.
I guess the best place to start here is just give us kind of a background. How'd you get to be MJ Exotic Cartal? And if you wouldn't mind, explain why cartel is, at least in my opinion, spelled wrong.
All right. Respect. All right. So basically, man, it's Okay, let's see. So the name Exotic Cartal, right? That comes from my DJ name. Before the hobby, before I got into the reptiles and everything, I was really invested in becoming, doing the DJ life. Like I'm talking about literally being a DJ financially for the rest of my life. And I did that for almost 10 years, man. And I went by the name of Juarez Cartal. My last name's Juarez. But I live in a place where, you know what I mean? Like you can't be branding yourself Juarez Cartal because there is a Juarez Cartal, and it actually, that Juarez Cartal is actually fucking enemies of the Tijuana cartels. And it's just like, it's, and I used to go down to Mexico and DJ all the time. Like a lot of my gigs were in Mexico. And so, you know what I mean? So I have a buddy, well, I haven't talked to him in a while. He's pretty much a big blown up DJ now. He's fucking mainstream. Shout out to the homie Felix Cartal. So Felix Cartal, I remember we had a conversation, and there was an actual Felix Cartal. Like there's a world famous. I mean, everyone knows who the Felix Cartal is. Whoever likes gangster shit. Anyways, Felix Cartal was a real cartel. He didn't want to associate with an actual cartel with it being on writing, so he changed the E to an A. So it's technically Cartal. Okay, it's not cartel, right? Okay. So he kind of did that as a joke, but I was like, fuck, that's kind of like, I'm kind of in that position now and I'm going to do that. So I hella did that and, just took it with me. I took it with me wherever I went because I'm not trying to say I'm actually affiliated with the cartel. It's kind of like, you look at it and it's cartel and it's, yeah, dude, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. But yeah, man. So that I carried that with me with the name of the logo, finding the hobby. I wanted to, obviously, I was looking up to Ozzy and Miguel, I'm going to give you props real quick, man. Cause when you came into the hobby, Jason, you really branded yourself well. You did a good job marketing yourself, like really, really well.
Well, to be fair, the first logo was kind of a shoving my foot in my mouth when I realized that my graphic designer used the same generic Google clip art as everybody else. And then come to find out down the line that Chandler at CTH Reptiles, Chandler Hatfield, he has almost exactly the same snake in a slightly different tail arrangement and in green instead of gold. And so there was a big, like, I'm stepping on his toes in his turf kind of thing from the very beginning. It's Chandler and I are cool. We talk all the time. And that's kind of what changed the logo into what was the cartoony looking thing for a little while. But then we landed here. Brandon, I got to shout out Brandon at it used to be Morph by Design. Now it's Asylum Exotics. Oh, he's the one that did the current logo, and I freaking love it, man. I mean, it's exactly everything I wanted,
I mean, I don't know why. I can only remember you with that logo. I mean, how long have you had that logo for?
I'd say probably less than a year because I was in Pittsburgh in February with Garrett Hartle. Yeah. And that was right at the time that Garrett was working with Stewart Design to get his total rebrand done. And Garrett showed me like all the stuff that they talked about, their whole presentation, like what they look for, the design features, a flat design, colors, theme, all that stuff. Like he gave me the whole rundown that Stewart gave him. And that got my wheels turning on what I'd had because at the time I still had that cartoony looking Dreamsicle logo. And I realized that it's not sharp. It's a bitch to embroider. Well, you can't embroider it. It's a pain in the ass to put on shirts, and I can't laser engrave it. I can't do anything with it. And my goal was I wanted something super elegant, kind of like that high-end New York martini lounge kind of feel. You know what I mean? And this is what Brandon gave me, and I'm blown away. It's exactly what I wanted. And that intro you saw at the beginning, that's actually a Fiverr intro. Oddly enough, I've had that image in my mind for months of this idea of a martini glass sliding down the bar and then it turning into my logo and that. And so I just put it up to Fiverr and they got it done. And I definitely am really pleased with the logo now. It's definitely us. So,
well, kudos to you. And, I didn't even know about the drama with your logo. I just knew that your logo stood out to me and you did real good with the do-it-yourself shit. So I will say, man, if you're going to come out and you want to get your fucking name noticed right off the bat, this guy didn't even have snakes out really. Like he was buying snakes, but he wasn't producing shit.
For the first year. Yep.
Yeah, I was fucking really impressed. So I mean, you reminded me of a JP. JP did the same thing. You're a little less annoying than JP, but
Jordan and I came on almost exactly the same time. We connected very early on by way of Billy. And we were in this neck and neck race on YouTube and Instagram forever. And then he was able, no disrespect to Jordan whatsoever, but he was able to put a lot more money on the table than I was. And when you've got that kind of firepower in your racks and you can put it in your videos, it definitely helps, And so he's long since surpassed me. But yeah, same kind of deal. He went the same thing, the initial logo and name with the overlap with Miguel. Got a bunch of heat for it.
But he got noticed for it. I wonder if he did it on purpose. That sick motherfucker, man. I'm telling you.
If he did it intentionally, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Because he obviously was like, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. You know what I mean? JP, I love JP, dog. He's so funny.
Well, I will say one of the things, you're looking at your logo and that, and people have asked me all the time because they comment on mine. And this is something I learned from Stewart Design is when I was first trying to design on a logo and we came up with the name and everything, my number one inspiration, like a lot of people's, was Justin. Yeah. And Justin, Brian Barczyk's the reason I got into snakes and over my fear. Justin's the reason I got into branding, collecting, breeding, that kind of thing. Okay. And the thing I liked was Justin's logo, that Y, that snake Y.
Clean.
It doesn't matter if you know who Justin is or to look for the big blue wall to show or whatever. If you saw a pink flag with that snake on it from across the room, you would know where Justin's at. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something that didn't need my name anywhere. It didn't need Morph Mixology on anything. If you just put up that martini snake, everybody knows who it is. And that's what I was shooting for. And your logo is no different, man. Everybody knows what the Cartal logo looks like.
Sweet. Thanks, man. I like it.
And I think that's part of it. And keeping it more simple than not, I think, is a big player in that for sure. Some people get way too complex with their logos.
No comment, but yes.
Yeah. Got a shout out real quick. HB Reptiles. This is one of my new homies. He and I did a trade for some double het ultra male combo stuff that we've been working together.
Respect.
So he said for the snake budget, because he knows I'm working on another project right now. But I sent a couple animals his way. He sent me a spinner blast, I believe, double het ultra glow female. So
nice. We're
working some long-term projects with him. So it's pretty sweet. We got some heavy hitters in the chat here. I'm like humbled, if nothing else. We got Cusco up in here. I mean, he's kind of a pain in the ass. Not so much a heavy hitter, but
I love that.
Brian's good people, and Brian is definitely one of the reasons that I got started in YouTube.
Brian changed my life.
Dude, he invited me sight unseen to his house overnight when I was nobody in this thing. I was down at Jay's place, and my wife and I had sent him and Hillary a care package for when Leia was born, just like just a little love or whatever. And I was down at Jay's place, and I called Brian. They were coming back from the bay, and he looked over at Hillary. He's like, "Hey, do you care if Bigler comes up and spends the night?" He's like, "Okay," So I drove up from Newport and hung out with Brian for a while. We went to Freedom Breeder. Like, Brian's been fantastic the last couple of years. Like, he's definitely a big part of keeping me moving in this. When you get to those points where you're like, dude, screw all this, sell everything. I'm done with the bullshit. Moving on. I've got a real life. I don't need this anymore. Brian's been one of those guys I vent to, and he's like, dude, just shut up and get back to work. It's like,
for reals.
So now we got Brian here. We got Khalil. Khalil's actually on deck to do this in a couple weeks, so that'll be pretty rad.
Khalil's a fucking huge inspiration to me. That's my boy. Shout out to him, Khalil.
Yeah, no doubt. Got Chris Sexton. He's got a bunch of my stuff on in his facility, which is rad. He's probably hands down my best customer by far, and become a great friend. So that's been rad. But like I said, we're not going to talk all about snakes, but I know there's a lot of people in here that either are new to you or whatnot. I know you don't do just ball pythons. You've got arguably one of the most eclectic small time collections, if you don't mind me calling it that, that I've ever seen. And I've never actually been there, but I've seen through your Instagram stories and stuff like that. Aside from just snakes, man, I mean, give us a rundown of some of the crazy stuff you work with, including freaking alpacas and everything else, man. You got a whole farm going on out there.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is it's crazy because I think my whole life, right? I've always just, I got brought into animals pretty in a heavy way. Like, I've said this story before, so if whoever's heard it, I'm sorry, I'll say it real quick. But my uncle back east in Pennsylvania had a crazy acreage, like acres on acres, and he had a bunch of fucking crazy imported animals. Like I'm talking about wild ass animals, like wild boars, fucking mountain lions and tigers and crocs and just weird shit, like crazy shit. And anyways, I just, being around that, I knew, okay, obviously this is possible. You could actually own animals like this. So in the back of my head, I always wanted it. But throughout years and stuff, I was just like, well, how am I ever going to get in that position to own any animals like that? So it kind of just faded away. And then all of a sudden, man, like when I was really looking for a change in my life, and I found this hobby, obviously it started with ball pythons. Shout out to the ball pythons. I love ball pythons, but the ball pythons led me to led me to chondros, and then chondros led me to white lip pythons. White lip pythons led me to emerald tree pythons. And then, I mean, it kind of got out of control for a while. I had to fucking, check myself because I was, you don't, especially if you don't have experience, you're not trying to, like, man, I preach this, but I didn't practice what I preached. I'm preaching because I learned from my own mistakes, but you never want to just start getting into fucking species after species when you don't even have your feet wet with the current species you're working with. Like, it's all about giving that species the correct attention to you are understanding that species. You could read when something's wrong with it, all that stuff. So that being said, I just started meeting people. I started getting introduced to shit, and things just started landing in my lap, bro. The alpacas, Jesus Christ. I fucking, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you know this story, but when I was with Lily, okay, boyfriend and girlfriend, and I was like, look, I'm gonna marry you, and she laughed, but I was like, I'm gonna marry you. I know I am. I was like, let's just move in together. And I was actually renting. My buddy lived 2 houses down, and I was renting one of his rooms. And I was like, let's just walk down the block. I was like, let's just see if there's any houses for rent. Like, you never know. So here we are walking down the street with Capone, and I fucking come across this house that I'm at right now. And this is where the trap's at, man. This is where everything's at. We walked up. The fucking owner was here. Like, I guess she was cleaning it out. I guess her mother had passed away or something weird. I mean, this probably explains why this place is haunted. But either way, but all I'm saying is, like, our neighbors had these alpacas, like, direct back. We're on an acre. Like, you don't find San Diego houses with an acre of land. It's just like, it's uncommon, okay? But in this neighborhood where we're at, Rancho San Diego, a lot of houses have a lot of land, like acre, like, a lot of acres and shit. Not acres, but at least an acre. So, but I mainly wanted to move into this house because of the alpacas. I remember seeing them from the yard, and I remember we didn't even live here, or I think we talked to the owner once, and I kept coming back here. Like, I just coming back here and staring at the yard, and and I just fucking I was like, man, I would love to live here just to look at these alpacas all day. Like, that's all I want to do. I asked God. I remember fucking at that time of life, and I still do. I was talking to God a lot, and I was like, I would just let me see these alpacas. I want the opportunity to see those alpacas every day. And sure enough, we moved in there, and the alpacas became something where I hung out with them daily. And then next, the neighbors wanted, they said that, they no longer could keep them. Their daughter moved away, and they were for the daughter and all this stuff. So next thing you know, I was like, I'll take them. Like, give me the alpacas. And, I took the alpacas, and now they're like my fucking kids. And, I do have other, like, I want an emu and shit. So I'm just kind of scared. Like, whatever I think I really want, I feel like it's going to come. And I don't, I'm not trying to get my wife upset, but how am I going to help it if an emu lands on my lap? I'm not going to say no to an emu.
Fair. How much property do you have?
It's about an acre.
That's not bad. Yeah, I follow your stories all the time, man. And I see you guys playing with the alpacas and that, and they're freaking rad, man. It's something, not necessarily to own alpacas, but my next, if not my next place, certainly the one after that is definitely going to be on its property. I'd rather have enough property that I can't see my neighbors. That's the whole goal, and
that's
have some room to just stretch out, and I can build a building and have some chickens, and my wife wants a potbelly pig, and just fun shit like that, So
yeah,
I definitely get it.
Yep.
Oh, we've got Kendra and Jeff in the house. Wants to know when you're moving back to the Pacific Northwest. I didn't know. Are you from that area?
Yeah, I lived up there for about 4.5 years. I lived in Bellingham, and then I went to University of Washington for a year. I used to play baseball up there, and I got hurt, and that's what brought me back down to San Diego. But dude, shout out to the PNW, bro. I'll tell you right now, Washington is fucking beautiful, man.
That's such an awesome state, man.
I love Washington. And honestly, I love rain too, but I just don't know. how that would, like, the one reason why I'm like fucking San Diego this, San Diego that is because of the weather. Like, I could get away with so much shit with my reptiles because of the weather. And you know, you dip up north just a little bit and you can't get away. You go to like the Bay Area, oh, that changes everything. You know, and
Yeah, it's not like living in South, it's like living in South Florida. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's
right.
So I'm originally, I don't know if you know this, I'm originally from Sacramento, so I get the whole NorCal vibe and that. And I've always claimed,
why the fuck are you a Patriots fan, bro?
Well, it's not hard to explain. I've been a Pats fan since just before Bledsoe got injured and they put Brady up in 2000. But
not long enough.
It's funny because I don't know how you feel about this, but I have always claimed, being born and raised in NorCal, that Northern California goes from the Oregon border to just above Bakersfield and San Diego. And everything in the middle is SoCal. Like, San Diego is Southern NorCal as far as I'm concerned, because I can't stand LA, to be honest with you. But San Diego is a totally different animal. It's not SoCal at all.
It's weird because if you really look on how, like, and no offense, Doug, you know what I mean, to the LA people, but I mean, you can't deny this either. But LA is a dirty ass city. It's dirty, so you would think that city would be closer to Mexico instead of San Diego being closer to Mexico. But nah, like, San Diego's paradise. Once you get through LA and all that shit, fucking traffic and like just terrible fucking just terribleness, you go through Orange County. You pass Carlsbad, you get to San Diego, dude. That's when you hit paradise. I'm telling you.
No doubt. Yeah, dude, I love San Diego. I've been there a bunch of times. We got Khalil's on deck, and he wins comment of the night for sure. So,
oh God, Khalil, really, with your hair? How are you gonna do that? Khalil has perfect hair. So do I. But
we got some more NorCal people in the house. Lily N, originally from East Bay, lives in Elk Grove. That's just down the road from my neck of the woods. So
Lily's the homie. What's up, Lily?
Yeah. But cool, man. So yeah, give me kind of a rundown of like just some of the other off the wall stuff you work with. You got all kinds of crap over there.
So I mean, if you want to talk about like work with, like stuff like, especially this year, stuff I'm pairing, like the mangroves, right? That's probably one of my most, like, I mean, could be definitely my top anticipated projects I have going on. That's actually looking pretty good. I mean, no ovulations or anything yet, but the chemistry's amazing with the pair, and I know stuff's going on, which just makes me excited. You know, I talked to a lot of people who can't even leave their mangroves together more than 20, 30 minutes without them trying to eat each other. And I leave mine together for fucking 3 days. And it works, you know, so far.
You need to put me on deck for that. If you get some eggs out of that. That's one species I definitely want to add for sure.
Now I will say this, and this is no disrespect, because I have so many people, and like, this is like, we're so far fetched from that, right? Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying, man, if you got anything, let me know. But dude, I hate, I almost feel like people jinx me when they say that, because like, I'm not even thinking of eggs yet because I want them so bad. But then I will be honest with you, Jason, too. Like, let's just say I get one clutch of mangroves, right? Not one of those fucking mangroves are ever going to leave the trap.
Dude,
like,
I don't blame you. I do not blame you. I get it.
It's going to be like that with like almost all the species at first, which I mean, I'm just being honest, like Timors, like I'm obsessed with Timors, right? That's probably my biggest long-term passion, because they say there's a code that nobody could find, and like, it's impossible. And they got it. The female needs to be 7-8 years old, and the male, and like, I have other sources who actually produce Timors who are telling me no. And, you know, I'm in the right direction with that. But then also too, if I get a Timor clutch, none of them are going to leave. But
quick interjection here, because he's heading out. Cusco, he's on his way out. Dropped a super chat on us. Got to be a daddy now. I feel that, man. Freaking 3-month-old up here. But you just want to say, as much crap as he talks to both of us, he really looks up to both of us. So it's mad respect to Cusco for sure. I appreciate him stepping by. We got 21st Century Reptiles in the house at 2:30 in the morning in the UK. How freaking rad is that?
Respect.
David Owen, no, sir, it is not Chico State, although I'm not far from, or was not far from there originally. It's Chico Hot Springs here in South Central Montana. It's a hot springs spot. So didn't mean to interrupt your story there, but no, I get you, man. In fact, I was just messaging Bill Stiegel recently, last week, I guess it was, and I was down at his old place before he moved a year or so ago. And I sent him a message the other day, and I told him, because he was posting up his roughies in that. And I told him, I was like, put me online, man. I'm ready to go. Because ever since I held the roughie when I was at his place, I freaking was in love with that, that species. But I get it. You know, if he only gets a couple and he wants to hold them all back, I respect that for sure.
Rough scale pythons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. Those, I mean, I'm like, fuck. I got the homie Benny Bender, who's working with rough scales, but that's another species too, man. Those are like, fuck. Those would be hard to get your hands on. You can, but man, fuck. That's
yeah.
I can't. That's
I'm in line. I'm in line for that. I got my deposit down for a blacktail crebo from Mike.
Oh, nice.
Michael, so
nice.
I'm freaking stoked on that. That's an animal that I have been enamored with since I saw Rico and Maya at Barchek's place. You know, and I have zero desire, let alone legalities, of working with hots. You know what I mean? But that animal just speaks to me as moving up in complexity or difficulty or, you know, challenge or whatever you want to call it of the snake species, to work with something effectively like a king that's not capable of killing you. You know what I mean? And that's just like, I'm super, super stoked to get in on that. But, you know, I don't have nearly the bizarre stuff you got. I don't have the room either. That's the other thing. I mean, 10 by 16 is the space I've got to work with. You know, it's not a lot. So what, tell me your story of how you got tied up with Forrest and Desiree and Steven and the whole Zoo Dreams and Reptech Cold Blooded Cafe crew and that. Because believe it, actually, I'll go ahead and announce it now. I was going to wait till the end, but I've actually got Desiree and Steven lined up for next week. They're next up on deck for the open mic. So I'm pretty stoked on that for sure.
Congrats on that. That's huge. That's a really big one, man. Good job.
I'm really, really impressed with them. I'm really excited to talk to them a little bit more in depth. You know, Steven, with what he got to work with and learn from for Forrest and that, you know, that whole species operation that they run, but also Cold Blooded Cafe. And I just got a big order from them the other day. It's second to none, obviously. So I'm really excited to talk to them for sure. But kind of give me a background on how you got tied up with that group.
First off, shout out to Cold Blooded Cafe, man. Shout out to Reptech, man. I love those two. They're important to me. I
got my shirt on.
Yeah, there it is. There you go. Follow your zoo dreams, man. And that's basically where it all started from. It started with Forrest. Steven, you know, I didn't have too much of a relationship with Steven prior to, you know, meeting him with Forrest, but I did follow Steven's account. You know, a lot of people did. Steven has amazing animals. He always has prior to going over to the Reptech. But yeah, man, me and Forrest, we're the ones that hit it off. I mean, I don't know. I kind of hit him up one time on DM and he was really responsive and we kind of started talking like that. And then when he said he was coming to San Diego for something and we met in person, that's when we really hit things off. And then he came back and he brought Steven. And then that's when I met Steven and I didn't know Steven was a fucking giant. Like Steven's huge. Like he's a fucking 6'5" giant. Like he's a big kid. He's a big kid. And you would never expect that because I don't know. He just seems like a timid dude and he is kind of like a little shy boy. Sorry, Steven, if you're hearing this, but he's a little shy. You know what I mean? But once you get talking to him, he's awesome. But anyways, man, I don't know. Me and Forrest were like best friends, man. We talked almost every day on the phone. And then when we started doing the podcast, I didn't know Steven wanted to be a part of it so bad. So he basically just invited himself on. and I was like, oh, I guess we could just leave Steven. But it was so funny. If you look at the very first 2 episodes of Unfiltered Reptiles podcast, you needed headphones to listen, right? Steven had no headphones. So he's just sitting there like this. And he can't hear shit. He can't hear me talk. He can hear Forrest talk, but that's it. And so like, I was like, Forrest, can you just get the guy some headphones, please? And we got him headphones. And then, you know, and then Steven became a part of the Unfiltered crew. And then, I don't know, man. And then obviously we lost Forrest. We all lost Forrest. And that's when, you know, I wasn't really too, like I knew, me and Desiree knew of each other, but we never really talked, you know. And it's unfortunate that it took Forrest to die for us to start like talking, but that's what it was. And yeah, man, it was rough. It still is rough.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I never got the opportunity to meet Forrest in person. I did talk to him online a couple of times ahead of time. I had plans of heading out to his place and hanging out. He told me I could come down to the Dragonwood Conservatory and that. And I was like, that was super rad. And I just obviously, you know, kind of got blindsided as we all did, obviously.
Yeah.
And so definitely, you know, miss him and miss that opportunity. But are you guys still doing the Unfiltered podcast? Is that still on deck?
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's I mean, we were pumping them out once a week for a minute, and then dude, Cold Blooded Cafes is popping, bro. Like they're literally just fucking like Steven has a solid crew, but his days are just packed, like they're nonstop. So it's hard to really get a set day of the week. We're trying to stick to Tuesdays and then putting them out on, I think, Thursdays when we put them out. So we for sure have a Thursday episode getting dropped this coming week. So that's 2 weeks in a row. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, we still got Unfiltered. That ain't ever going anywhere, man. Actually, I just made a new intro for Unfiltered. And rumor on the fucking street is that it's sicker than Trap. So I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys go check it out. But
so yeah, that actually leads me to a question I've had for quite a long time. I am arguably the least hip to the know on like local vernacular and slang and stuff like that. Give me the story behind Trap Talk podcast and what. You refer to your snake room as the trap and the whole nine. Give me the whole background on how that works, because I am way out of left field on that one.
First off, let's just say, okay, hold on. I got to use the bathroom before I do this. I have to take a piss.
You're good, man. Take your time for sure.
I've been drinking coffee all day. This is my fucking third podcast of the day. So give me 1 second.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys get me for just a moment now. If you got any crazy questions or anything, obviously a lot of you guys know MJ. He's been around for a long time in the game, and he's been on YouTube a bunch with his Trap Talk podcast and Unfiltered Reptiles and all that jazz. If you got any questions or anything, drop them in the comments for sure. Real quick, I want to do just go back through real fast and shout out and appreciate all of the people that are dropping in super chats. That's freaking rad. I really appreciate you guys. Obviously starting with Balls of Paradise and Reptiles up in here, and then Cusco dropping the 1999 on the way out. We got 36 people in the chat for my first one. That's more than I could ask for. I really appreciate it. This is going to be, like I said in the very beginning, hopefully a weekly Saturday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, routine kind of thing. We're just going to have random people on here, cool guys in the hobby. Like I said, next week going to be Desiree and Steven from Cold Blooded Cafe and Reptex. So super stoked on that. I've got people booked for the next 6 weeks, so definitely stay tuned. Looks like MJ's back on deck, so we'll pull him back in here and let him tell us what the story is on Trap and the Trap Talk.
So before I get into the story, I do want to say that when you just said right now that you're not too hip on, nowadays lingo or whatever, I picked up on that, but I didn't at first. Because do you remember when you said you don't speak ghetto to me in the DM? You're like, I don't.
That's a long time back, man.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I wanted to fuck you up. I didn't like that. That pissed me off. That really pissed me off because I was like, I thought I was kind of racist almost, but you were serious. Like I felt like you knew what I was saying. You're just being a smartass, but I feel like you really didn't know what the fuck I was saying. So I will say I take that back. I really understand that now. So now there's no hard feelings and shit like that. So
yeah, bro, it has nothing to do with race. It's literally locale. I've been out of California too long to know what the hell you're saying or Miguel's saying or anyone else is saying for that matter. So it's not directed at you, man. I'm in Montana's like a decade back in the real world, man.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just kidding. All right, cool, man. So Trap Talk, right? So I really love music, right? So one of the musics that I listen to, is like rap music. I love all types of music, but rap music, right? Especially like trap music and stuff that's out nowadays. I like trap. I like people who talk about shit that they actually do, like trap shit, And I came from an era where before I came to the hobby, like I used to sell drugs, like like that's like I wanted to be a DJ, but wanting to be a DJ, DJs are broke. Like if you're not a legit signed DJ, you don't have money. Like you party for free. That's it. So I sold fucking drugs and I made a lot of money off of it, like real quick money. That's San Diego. You could do that. It's the norm. And I really can't. I've been in trap houses. I've seen shit. I didn't sell crack or anything, no hard drugs or anything, just designer shit. But I kind of took that mentality because now I'm literally harboring myself in a room that's just with snakes, and like I wanted to produce snakes, and I on my stories and stuff like that, I always played my trap music. I played Gucci Mane and I played fucking Shoreline. I played real trap shit, and I'm a pretty creative dude, bro. Like I think of shit really quick off the top of my head. Even guests really get impressed because I don't ever have questions lined up. I don't have anything structured out. It's just off the go. And I thought of snake trap session. I thought of snake trap pretty quick, and I called my room the snake trap. And that's it. And I always stuck to it. I always stuck to it, especially because I felt like someone else was going to pick up on one and maybe take it. And I was like, no, fuck that. So I made sure and it's actually patent too now, by the way. So that's where snake trap sessions came from, because I wanted to start a YouTube video and put out snake trap sessions, which that I didn't, that was really hard to do. It was really hard to vlog. I mean, it's hard to be consistent in vlog. It really is.
No doubt.
And the editing. So I kept my channel, the Snake Trap Sessions, the channel, and that's where that's what Trap Talk Sessions was birthed from, and that's where that's at. So yeah, man, it's just a trap. Anyone who knows what a trap house is knows it's a place where fucking drugs are produced and distributed and handed out, and that's what I'm doing, but it's with snakes.
And a little bit less legal overhead, I guess the best way to put it.
I mean, the thing is, it's crazy because real trap motherfuckers don't see people, like they're in the trap. And
yeah,
I saw everybody, but now I'm like, literally, I don't see nobody anymore, bro. I'm at home, you know what I mean? And like, I do things that my wife wants me to do, and which is cool. If I have to go see family, I'll go see family. But bro, I'm just in the trap, bro, all day, every day. And now I have another room inside the house, and I'm in that room, and I want more, bro. Like we're looking to buy this place. I got to twist the landlord's arm just a little bit more, but she knows I want it. And once I buy this place, man, what do you think is going to happen to that acre, bro?
Yeah, no doubt. I can see
it's a wrap.
Things and freaking, you're going to have a whole freaking farm out there. It's going to be like an animal farm going on, but
day by day, bro. I visualize at this point. I've had people tell me this, and I thought it was corny, but like you could fucking live out what you visualize. Like you could, like literally, it's what you want it to be, and that's that. It's all about just sticking to the plan and making sure you don't fucking stay out, get off the road. And I don't know, man. I just day by day.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I feel like that's kind of the way I've been, but it seems like day by day for me turned into one snake into 85 into 100 overnight. Like it happened quick, man. Yeah. And I look at my setup now, and I've got upgrades coming. I got more stuff. I'm trying to make every inch of this room that I built in my garage work, because I don't have any other option. I don't have room in the back to put another building, and we're still ground level here. I'm not making enough money to go put up a facility or build something in my yard or any of that stuff. So I get it. I get the day by day grind for sure. And the whole YouTube thing, like I like YouTube from the perspective of it's another outlet to get me and my stuff out there to everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, that and I don't know how, dude. I talked to Barchek when he was here. I don't know how guys like that do daily uploads. Like I have a hell of a time getting to freaking Thursday at 7 or Thursday at 5, like routinely. You know what I mean?
Barchek's not a human. He's a fucking creature. If you should see this guy in the zone at Reptarium with people, bro. It's
I bet. Yeah.
Like he almost has a look on his face like he's good, but it's like bro, you could just tell he's been nonstop, but like he's not gonna stop, and he doesn't stop. And I remember we were in Vegas and we just got done eating, and we were up in his room, and like we were like, I was like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna go somewhere else. And I was like, fuck, I could take a nap. And Brian's like, man, I haven't taken a nap in 15 years. And I believed him. Like, I'm like, damn, I think you're right, bro. I don't think you've napped.
Dude, that weekend looked legit. I saw your stories. Obviously, I was following him on YouTube because I knew he was coming here. Yeah. And I was watching your guys' stories and that throughout the process. I'm like, for somebody that doesn't play hard, he knows how to put on a party to let others play hard. So
respect. Yeah. No, he took care of fucking all of us, man. And it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, how much more inspiring can you get? We both got started off this because of Brian Barczyk. And if you would have told me in 2016, when I was when I was ditching all my friends and canceling shows to watch Brian Barczyk YouTube videos in my bed by myself with one ball python, okay, and you would have said, hey bro, in 4 years you're gonna be going to Vegas with this dude, I would have been like, you're stupid.
Yeah,
you're stupid. And now look, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy.
People ask me about how he ended up here. I'm like, dude, that was a complete blind faith shot in the dark, man. I listened to his podcast
because of you, bro.
That's
because of you. You went out and told, like, you knew where he was at and you out and got it. You reached for it and you got it. That's what you get. That's what happened. That's what, when I say shooters take their shots, that's exactly what you got to do. If you feel like Barczyk's going to be running through your state, find a way to get him to your fucking place. You never know if he's going to say yes. You know what I mean?
Well, my dad taught me a long time ago, don't ever ask something of somebody without having something to put on the table to counter or for them as well. You know what I mean? And when I listened to his podcast and I heard that he was going through Yellowstone and the only other state that he's never been to is South Dakota, and he was going to Reptile Gardens, I'm like, dude, Yellowstone to South Dakota literally drives right through my town. I've made that drive 100 times. I know right where it's at. So I shot an email out in complete blind faith. I'm like, hey, if you need a place to crash, somewhere to park the motorhome, need power, whatever, I got your setup. You're literally on my drive. You're 5 hours outside of Reptile Gardens. I'll hook you up. And here they are. It's not like I was just reaching out for, oh, they're Brian Barczyk, I'm gonna latch onto his clout and freaking drag it into my skit. No, it's none of that. And I just got off the phone with him not too long ago. It's like he's become a friend. It's been super rad. It's mad respect to Barczyk with all of the bullshit that surrounds the controversy with him and people that don't know him, and that I've never met somebody more humble and more willing to just help and be a part of somebody else's world, and it's like I was blown away. It was rad.
Dude, man, it's like I'm learning to do this a lot more, like to listen more than I talk. But like when Brian talks, I don't have that problem, bro. I just listen.
No doubt. Yeah. I'm just bummed I didn't have more time because I could have picked his brain forever, and I might be able to get him on here and just let him fucking go, man. I'd love to just get him started and just turn the mic off and listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's for reals.
Well, we got some more of your people up in here. We got Riley up in the house. Riley's good people, man. I like Riley a lot.
Riley's I'll tell you right now, man. Riley is to me, he's more than a keeper in the hobby. Like he literally is one of the best guides you could possibly have and knowledgeable friends you could possibly have on any species, even a species he doesn't keep, he knows so much about. And I'll tell you what, man, Forrest looked up to Riley a lot, man. Obviously anyone who's been following me knows that I'm not shy of losing my shit every now and then and fucking, slipping up here and there. And, me and Riley had like a little tiff over a podcast, but either way, like Forrest made sure that I got over it and I fucking made it right with Riley. And that's the only time Forrest has ever told me to do something like that. And just the amount of respect that I could just feel that Forrest had for Riley just made me open up more to Riley. And then now me and Riley are one of the best at homie. Like I fucking respect Riley so much. So shout out to Riley Jimison, man. That dude's fucking.
No doubt. Riley's a good dude, man. I met up with him. I guess it was last year at GX3 and talked snakes and hung out for a while. I've been talking to him for months about this whole Crebo idea because he's got a pair himself. And so between that and the carpets and helping me with stuff like that, like Riley's become a good friend. He's a good dude for sure. So shout out to Riley. Looks like your boy Matt M. You introduced him to Shoreline Mafia. You got some
wave. Hell yeah. I keep it super wavy with Shoreline.
You got some fans up in the like this dude. I have no idea what you're talking about here. Like
it's all good.
So yeah, we got some good people in here and a lot of support. Killy's Morphs. They found their sticker on my sticker door that I made, so that was pretty rad. And this ultrasounding video, man, having Brian ultrasound my snakes and teach me how to do it was priceless. I'll never get that back, man. There's insane. So
nice,
cool, man. So give me something outside of snakes. Like give me something else that you're that you're into. What's your jam? I know your snakes are your life, but you gotta have.
I mean, DJing is something I would really, do, but it's like, that's something, fuck, it sucks because I actually invested in equipment again. I bought a bunch of stuff, and I even it's funny because I mainly bought equipment because I miss playing, but then I bought the equipment that I could actually make an intro off of. And I was like, oh shit, well, hello, I could actually make my intro. And when I mean intro, I mean fucking, I had to make my own track. Like I had to make my own song because YouTube was fucking like copywriting all my shit. They were like, and so I was like, I'm not going through that. I was like, I'm going to create a fucking song or a remix where they can't copyright it. So I did. And I don't know. And then I haven't touched it since that was like what? Fucking May or something. And then I literally had not touched it since. Maybe I touched it at a little party I threw, but then I had not touched it until now where I busted it out to make the Unfiltered Reptiles podcast fucking intro. So it's like, man, the hobby I have other than snakes is the hobby I do when I need it for snakes. So I'm Doug. I'm telling you, bro. I mean, you don't want to talk politics with me because you'll lose views. So let's not go there.
Oh man, dude, you should have seen how piss poorly my video from this week did. It was miserably bad, like less than a third of normal views.
Why?
Bad. I don't know.
Because of politics?
No, just in general. So I'm not worried about views. That's not the point. Like my YouTube channel is not here to be a moneymaker. It's against YouTube's partner program terms of service to discuss exactly how much you make on YouTube, but I will tell you, it does not make me enough money to make it worth it.
Oh no, are you kidding?
Not even close.
I remember they were like, when I got monetized and shit, I was like, yeah, fucking don't stop making it seem like I'm gonna make a career off this. And like, I remember my first AdSense fucking deposit was like $1.13, something stupid. Like, what is this? Is this a joke? Like, I was like, I don't even fucking keep your change, bro. I don't even want this. But
I wait. I set my threshold to $100 just so I don't get stupid little checks. I was like, I'll just wait until $100 comes in.
I figured that out. Yeah, I figured I was able to change that too. So yeah, that worked out.
It's funny because Barchek told me that hands down, he's got irons in the fire across the board. Like I don't even know how many businesses that guy's got, but even he told me that hands down, the overwhelming majority of his income is social, and YouTube is not the biggest part of that, which blew my mind. He's got almost 3 million subscribers. And it's like, geez, like what's it take to get to where YouTube can actually pay your bills? You see these guys online that are driving freaking Lamborghinis and Bugattis and shit with 4 million subscribers. Like that's just, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, there's this, I don't know, man. It's all case by case with that shit, to be honest. And I honestly don't want to spend the energy even thinking about how that shit works. Cause like you said, I don't do this shit for fucking money. I do shit to bring a community together to where we could all fucking learn and not run into fucking brick walls that we normally would walk into or run into when we don't have help. You know what I mean? So, that's it, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just the way it is, bro.
YouTube's a fickle mistress. That's for sure.
YouTube. And it's like, I don't know, man. YouTube, it's just another fucking system that wants to control people, and it is what it is. No disrespect, fucking YouTube, I guess. And if we're gonna use your platform, we got to live by your rules. And they monitor how much cussing I do and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wow, like, and this is all stuff that just started trickling, and I was just like, okay, so.
Well, and I mean, I don't have a big enough following to have a YouTube liaison like Brian does and these bigger channels and that do, but I don't understand, like that whole Copa thing came out a while back for having kids in your videos or whatever. And Miguel went like hardcore dark on having his kids in his videos to the point where they're wearing like Popeyes bags on their heads and whatnot, And yet on the other side of that, I see people constantly that have kids in their videos that are similar style channels. It's always been that way. And like, why is Miguel having to be so ticky-tacky about it when these guys are doing exactly the same thing and not getting flagged? And there's no rhyme or reason to it as far as I'm concerned.
Well, do they have anywhere near as many subscribers as Miguel?
Probably
not.
I mean,
what I'm trying to say is the people who are doing these channels aren't probably nearly getting close to a check that Miguel's getting. Not that Miguel does it for money, but at the end of the day, if Miguel has videos being taken off because of this, That's all your hard work getting fucking deleted. And for what?
Yeah.
That would be fucking that's terrible. And that's why at the end of the day, like, I'm not doing this for a check, but if YouTube's telling me, oh, this is only for 18 and up because you cussed within your 30 seconds of the intro, like, what? Like, that sucks. Like, that means you have to sign in. You have to literally sign in, which I'll tell you what, probably 50-60% of the people who watch my YouTube podcast isn't a premier member. They're not signed in, or they probably won't sign in. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't sign in. So that fucks up. That's fucked up. Now you're stopping what I'm trying to put out for the community. You know what I mean? So now I'm
I get that, man. Like, last time I looked at my analytics, something like 75% of my views come from people that aren't subscribed, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I think of, like, and it might have something to do with the way the videos are coded, and you have that option there. Is this for, is this child-friendly content or not for kids or whatever? And I don't know how Miguel does his channel, but you look at, like, what's inside, for instance, they've got 10 plus million. I don't even know how many subscribers anymore. And that's been that dude and his son, Lincoln, for forever, and Lincoln's still on this show. And he's only 13 or whatever, who knows? It's insane. But so tell me, I am curious, or not. You've got all kinds of bizarre stuff. What is, aside from the snakes, if we keep the snakes out for a minute, what is one big, just wild, off the chart bucket list thing that you want to do that you haven't got to yet?
That has nothing to do with snakes?
Yeah.
I want a free fall. Like base jump. I want a base jump.
So not out of an airplane, off of a fixed structure?
I want a fucking base jump.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. At least once before, like, it just, like, because I already know I'm going to jump out of a plane. I haven't even jumped out of a plane yet, but my dad's done it twice, and we're supposed to do it for his, I think his 63rd birthday. It's coming up. So that's going to happen. I mean, depending on how I react on that, if I just become a complete bitch and I'm just like, that might say no, but man, just jumping off a cliff and fucking, it's going to take a lot of training, obviously. And I don't know, I might bitch out, but that's like something I've like I want to fucking do that really bad.
Dude, I can't imagine, man. I do want to skydive. I've never done that. I'm a pilot myself, so I'm no stranger to airplanes and that kind of thing. And people ask me all the time, like, because I'm not a fan of roller coasters. It's just not my jam. But they'll ask me, like, how can you not like roller coasters and then go out and do aerobatics in an airplane? And I finally figured out I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of hitting the ground. Because with my luck, I'll survive it and it'll be awful. At least I know that in an aerobatic airplane, if the airplane crashes or if I fly out somehow, I'm not going to feel it when I hit the ground. It ain't going to matter. But my luck is if I jump off a bridge or I ride a roller coaster and I get ejected, I'm going to survive it. It's going to be awful.
I'm terrified, dude. I'm literally terrified of like carnival roller coasters. Like, I'll never go on one ever again, bro. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't like them. I don't trust them. And I personally don't want to go out like that. Like, I don't want to, like, oh man, did you hear about MJ? He fucking died on a roller coaster in a carnival. Like, I just don't ever want to, like, that's not how I'm going to go out. So if I could avoid that, then I'm going to avoid it. So
do you have like a predetermined way you want to depart this world? Just like, this sounds good. I'll go.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to, I like to just knock out and just never wake up. If I could choose how I could leave this earth, just in my sleep, just pass out.
Oh, I thought you meant like get in a ring with Mayweather and just let him light you up. Like,
why would I let that fool do that to me? That's the worst thing. Let that little fucking shit touch me in the face. I'm not.
Did you see the friggin' Jake Paul fight?
Oh, that's fucking clown shit, bro. That's
sleeping though. One shot sleeping.
Would he sleep? He slept a fucking 36-year-old ex-NBA player who's barely 5 feet. Nate Robinson? Are you for real? Dog, that's nobody credible to say you could beat up McGregor. Like, dog, just stop. Like, okay, here's the thing, bro. This is the one thing I don't like about YouTube is the clout, bro. I hate clout fucking chasers. And yeah, I will say my boy Miguel's borderline with that, but he doesn't go to that point. He's respectable with it, okay? I'll say that. But there's other people out there that do it on a corny way. And that Jake fucking Paul nerd little fucking idiot, he's one of them, bro. Like, he's going off his brother and literally calling out true athletes, saying that he could beat them up just so he could get more people's attention. And like, he wants to get knocked out for the attention. But hey, listen, I can't even knock on that. That's just a hustle. Like nowadays, that's how people get their checks. That's how people get paid. Like fucking Supreme Patty or like look at those people, bro. Like that's in, bro. Like that shit's in. The clout faking people out is what's in, bro. It's sad. And like, I won't stand for it on anything that I'm on. If you know what I mean, I won't have that on my channel. I won't. Nah, bro. Just that's. I'm so against that, bro. Like the faking shit people out. I just don't like that. That's one thing that really gets under my skin, bro. And
yeah, it's frustrating to me because I watch. I mean, I don't have cable anymore, so I watch a lot of YouTube, and I used to watch Logan a long time back, and it just got to all those guys, dude. Logan Paul, freaking Tanner Fox, like all the kids in that, and especially in that LA area. Man, all they do is put up these super clickbaity headline titles. They borrow some dude's crazy car that was going to get destroyed for whatever reason. They crash it. They say, "Oh my God, I crashed some guy's $1 million car," and they get all the views. And no disrespect. I mean, they've figured out their game and they are rolling in the money. But man, it's just as admittedly as a niche market and a niche channel, like it's so frustrating. Like there's nothing I could do. Is clickbaity enough to be on a level like that. It's just insane.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and complain and knock what they're doing because that's what makes money nowadays. That's what like literally you could become a millionaire based off fucking just faking people out on social media platforms and then working your way up to celebrities. I blame the Kardashians. I'm fucking telling you, it's all because those, oh man. Anyways.
Well, that whole family's cause of a lot of issues going on, but dude, Khalil's got it, man. I can't fault them. They're marketing geniuses. They have figured out how to play the game for sure.
Straight up, bro.
And to a lesser extent, for the same respect, Miguel's in that same boat, dude. Miguel has figured out how to use his collection, his businesses, his cars, his ability, his contacts, all of that.
Okay, think about that. Okay, so Miguel actually has a business mindset behind it. Like these motherfuckers are in business. They have people who control all that shit. They just have to act for the cameras. They literally have people telling them what to do. And once the cameras roll, action. Act like a fucking idiot. Okay, Miguel, dude. Like I'm telling you right, and I'm not just saying that because he's my homie, but he doesn't act like a fucking idiot, bro. Like he's literally doing the business part of it, which is benefiting the hobby. That what he does trickles down to the snakes, and that's what's bringing the hobby even bigger and bigger. I Am Thompson, right? I Am Thompson is somebody connected in the celebrity world who is now looking up to people like Miguel and other people like fucking who that has collections that he wants to do. So now I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself. I Am Thompson. I'm sorry, bro. But what he wants to do is he wants to be the known breeder in Calabasas in LA who's fucking actually like producing shit to sell to celebrities in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I feel like it's different. Like what the hell is Jake Paul really doing with his boxing shit except faking people out? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to wrap around the podcast around him too much because he's a fucking fraud. He's a legitimate fraud. All right. But hey, listen, keep making your money, bro. Do your thing. It is what it is. I'll fight you. You know what I mean? I'll probably lose, but I'll fight you for the clout. Give me the clout. Shit.
Hey, dude, I'll host that one. That'd be fun to watch.
I'll lose, but I'll give me the clout. I want to hit 10K followers on Instagram anyway. So let's go. Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll get you there, man. Dude, don't ask me how to do it. Fuck, I don't know. I didn't do it. I get that question all the time. I was on John Feely's podcast or show, whatever, last week, I guess it was. And John's been a good friend of mine, and whatnot, and. He asked me the same question because everybody asked me the same thing. How did you get to here? And I'm not saying I'm of any stature, believe me. I look at guys like Justin and Miguel and Ozzy and that kind of deal, and that's a whole different stratosphere. But admittedly, I developed some kind of following in a relatively short amount of time. No clue how I did it. Because if you watch any of my videos, if you look at anything in my posting history, stuff like that, I have zero script. I have zero clue what I'm doing. I have no rhythm. Like I don't post a regular pick, I don't post something on Instagram at the same time all the time, 3 times a day, none of that shit. I'll go weeks without posting anything. And people ask me, I get messages constantly. Can you help me figure out how to grow my channel and my Instagram page? No, because I have no clue, man. This is 100% organic, and I had nothing to do with it. I just looked up and it was there.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It's weird, dude. I don't get it.
You want to know how you do it? By not giving a shit. Just
That's
don't care.
probably it, man, because I didn't.
Just do it every day. Do it because you're doing it. Post pictures that you want to post. Don't do it because you're like, oh, I already posted this pic or this snake 2 days ago. Who cares? Post a fucking different version of it and keep going. Like, people are so like they hold back because they don't have 20, 40, 30, fucking 50 snakes. You don't need all that snakes to start a fucking, to get the ball rolling. It's just about not being lazy. Like, don't be lazy. Like, just fucking post and be consistent. And I mean, I will say that it's hard when you're working 10, 11. If you're really a grinder and you're working like, 9, 10, 11, 12-hour days, dude, finding 20 minutes at the most to post and like hashtags and do what you got to do to build a following ain't going to be shit. You'll find a way, bro. There's no excuse.
Yeah, we got in the comments here, 21st Century Reptiles still awake in the UK, which is rad, and Wiz Constrictors both talking about my DIY videos. And yeah, I admit that that's probably what put me on the map from the beginning, because there wasn't a huge, there wasn't any, as far as I was aware, of current updated, like, you don't have the ability to spend the money to buy animal plastics or TGR or Freedom Breeder or ARS or what have you. So, and neither do I. So I'm going to go ahead and build these for what I need. And I'm going to show you how I did it. It's going to be super simple. And yeah, that probably helped. And I really, I'm a little concerned because if people have been watching my Instagram the last couple of days, I've been in a massive overhaul of my snake room, which is ridiculous since I just built it in June. But I've got some big upgrades coming, some big changes coming across the board. And aside from building the room and that kind of thing, I'm kind of going away from the DIY, and I'm a little afraid that people are going to start leaving. They're like, oh, well, this channel's no longer DIY. They're just like every other snake channel out there. And it makes me a little bit nervous, but it's my thing. It's like, it's the next step. That's the next logical progression for the business, if you want to call it that, for husbandry, for all that jazz. So it's my next step, and I'm excited for it. But I do think that probably played part of it for sure.
I mean, dude, people want to see what helps them go further in what they're trying to do. And I will tell you right now, there's nothing more I watched more than how to fucking build your own cage in your enclosure. I fucking looked at those videos because I didn't want to buy one. It was expensive, but I was like, I'll build one. And what do you do when you want to build one? You go to YouTube. And there's people like, it's crazy. You don't even need to have a legit fucking camera. I mean, if you just give proper instructions, it's crazy. You could find so much do it yourself, but hey, man, you did it right. You came out, you did it consistent, and it was all related, all relative to your page, which was building it at the same time. So, yeah, man.
Cool. So what do you got on deck that you're most hyped for? What's your big heat this year?
Like weed wise, or what are we talking?
I do have to comment on that for anybody that's in that's following my channel for a long period of time. That's confused here is MJ is in California. This is all completely on the up and up now. None of this stuff was was legit when I left California. It was all big bad brother, that kind of jazz. I can't partake. I'm a federal employee, so that's no go on my part. But
wait, you're a Fed?
Yeah, dude.
Wait, whoa. Let's talk about
surprise, man. You're on deck with a Fed. Like, I hate using that term. I collect my paycheck. Hey, you jumped out. What's up with that?
Put me back in.
I'll put you back in.
You're a Fed. You're a fucking Fed, dog. I'm just kidding. No,
dude, I collect my paycheck from the Department of Transportation. I'm not a real Fed. So
okay. I was just kidding, dude.
It's almost as bad as working at the DMV. So no, I mean, for those that don't know, if you got MJ fans in here that are new to the channel, I'm not no whiz constrictors. I am not a professional pilot. I am a pilot by family tradition. I do have a pilot's license, but I'm actually an air traffic controller by trade. That's my real job. So I'm a controller for the federal government, former military, the whole 9 yards. But I love telling people that I'm a Fed, and it's just, especially pilots. It's even better telling pilots that I'm from the FAA, and they're like, oh, and they get all like nervous in that because I think I'm going to take their license from them or something. So you ain't got to worry about me, man. You're all up in the up and up. It's all legal. Friggin' California can do whatever the hell they want.
If it's one thing that I love about the hobby is if I come across somebody who is a federal or a cop, I don't have to be worried about it. It's because we're talking about snakes. You know what I mean? Yep. And I'm glad I don't have to look over my shoulder no more. All sorts of shit, man. You don't understand. Like I have so much of a peace of mind doing what I do. I don't know. I just truly love it. And like this podcast stuff just made everything better.
Well, it's cool just to be able to just chill and talk for a while, man. It's like, that's the thing I don't get out of regular weekly videos, either mine or anyone else's for that matter. You get, like Brian Barczyk, you get a 15 to 20 minute snapshot of his life every day. And he told me that is like the smallest portion of what I do is that 15 minutes that you see, and right. So that's what I like about the live stuff is you can get in deeper, you can get in, I tune into Billy's podcast all the time, and that gets off the rails and way outside of snakes, and it's just out of control. And I like that, man. It's more fun that way. That's why I wanted to start something like this and get people in that I've met and been cool with, and new friends in the hobby and that kind of thing, and just kind of bring this whole thing together. It's not just snakes, man. It's about people, and there's good people. There's some really shitty people, but all in all, I've met some really good people. So.
Right. No, that's dude. And honestly, if it wasn't for this hobby, man, you wouldn't meet most of the people you meet. You probably would never meet them. And you meet almost anybody in this hobby, bro. It's like you can never really doubt who you're gonna meet. And what's crazy is if we want to go back to Unfiltered podcast real quick, like Chad Brown, bro. Chad Brown. Okay, you know who Chad Brown is, right?
Was that this last win you just did?
Oh, bro. Okay, Chad Brown's a defensive end. He played for the Patriots. Chad Brown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was a NFL player who owns Ship Your Reptiles. He's the owner of Ship Your Reptiles.
Dude, I never put the connection together because I use Reptiles to use, so I never put the connection there.
Yes. So basically, just finding stuff out like that was interesting. You know what I mean? And just like I don't know, man. It's just it's super neat. And the cool thing is, it's not going to stop growing anytime soon. Like it's not. And that's why, because of these collaborations and shit, it's definitely not going to stop anytime soon. Hobbies growing more than growing more than ever. And this is coming from the top. This is coming from motherfuckers who've been in this for a long time. So, that's an exciting thing. If you're in this, man, you're in it at the right, perfect time, and you should be excited. Like it's all good shit.
Yeah, well, and that was one of the things that I started to learn as I was finding, people, and one of the things I want to do on this open mic thing is get some of these people in, some of the older players in the game. I want to learn a bunch of the history. You know what I mean? Because one of the things I've learned is, especially with the advent of social media, there is so much hearsay about the history of this shit. So having Barczyk in my snake room holding a scaleless that I held opened the door for him and I to talk about the scaleless project directly from the dude that started it. So I don't have to hear the shit from people that are, bridges that have been burned or people that have been wronged or whatever. But I want to get some of these older guys on here. I'm working with trying to get Sean Bradley on just because I want to light that dude up and then turn the mic off and let him go, because these guys have got so much history to show. But I started finding there's so many people into snakes and into the snake hobby that you'd never guess. Like the whole thing with Kerry King and Slayer, and Brian talks about it all the time on his show, his buddies that play in the NFL and the NHL and that kind of jazz. And now Miguel bringing in all of these dudes out of LA and David Dobrik and all that jazz. Like it's rad to see the hobby and see how big it really is and how far it reaches into some other circles and that. But I really want to get on and get some of these backgrounds, some of these stories and that's the stuff. Cause I'm so new in it. I don't know how we got here. and that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, man. Well, good luck with it. Go do it. Go after and get it, bro. That's all I got to say.
Riley said that you and I need to come out and see the new shop at GX3. I've been watching their build out and updating that. That looks like a sweet setup. Riley, I'll actually be, I don't know if I told you, I'll be in Sacramento the week of Christmas. But if we can make it work, so be it. But yeah, they've got a pretty sweet setup down there and some rad species. I'm looking at getting into short tails. Believe it or not, ever since I saw the 007 and the Pixel that they had there when I was at their place last year, just insane. So
didn't you always have short tails? Like I thought you had.
I had a chrome head Sumatran short tail.
That's all you had?
I was just that one, yeah. And it was a male, so I ended up selling it because it didn't do me any good. My wife wants to make 007s and pixels and stuff like that. I want to get into some T negative stuff, so I'll probably start picking up some decent females here pretty soon. From Riley or from Juggernaut or whoever. But yeah, it's is there anything crazy that you still want to get your hands on that you haven't got there yet?
Yeah, I don't want to spill my beans yet, but 2021 will be my biggest, hottest pickups the trap has ever seen.
There you go.
So, but yeah, probably heavy shit. But yeah, there's man, there's like the diversions. I don't know if you heard about Bioga diversions, but there's like groups of those being fucking shipped to the United States where I want to add those now, which doesn't really calculate to what I really need. It's more of a want. But
you've picked up some stuff from Dan, haven't you?
Yeah, I picked up 2 males for my female. I have a Boyega Siena, and I needed a male, but I always, breeding those, I heard you always want to be one male heavy on that, like be up one male. So he had 2 males available, so I fucking swooped them up and got those. Those are beautiful. Those are smashing fucking, fuzzies every 5 days and going really well, man. And yeah, I mean,
dude, he's got some just off the wall, weird, obscure shit, especially being what's it out in Thailand now or whatever. Like he's in the middle of all the really weird crap. So he's got some cool stuff for sure.
He won't be importing no more. He's done. So
yeah. Cascade Critters up in here. He said he's hanging out with you, taking dabs, but probably not the same quality that you guys are accustomed to there in Cali.
Smoking on as high quality shit as you though. Okay. Probably not. Oh, probably not. What, man? I'll take care of you, dog. You gotta cruise down, bro. I'll take care of you. Got you.
So cool. Well, we're up over an hour. Obviously, we gotta look out for everybody else's time, and I gotta be up at freaking 4:30 for that beautiful federal job I would do. But
real quick, what is it that you actually do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what's your job to job?
I'm an air traffic controller.
Right. Okay.
So I sit, in the case of our facility, I'm in the tower and what you would picture as the radar lab, the radar room. The guy sitting in front of they're not round anymore, but in videos, in movies, you see like the round scopes with the sweep and the little dots flying across them. That they're not round anymore. They're square. They're all digital. There is no sweep, that kind of thing. But the effect is the same. So we actually have both on site. So I work the 40 miles, give or take, around my home airport up to 15,000 feet when I'm in the lab. And then I work the 5 miles around the airport up to 7,000 feet when I'm in the tower. And we all do all the positions in the entire facility. So it's kind of a rad setup. If you down there in San Diego, if you go to Montgomery, for instance, if you're going to fly somewhere, those guys are only working in the tower. That's all they do. They clear people for takeoff and landing and taxi on the ground. That's it. And no disrespect to the Montgomery controllers, man. Those guys are busting their ass down there. But all of those dudes, Montgomery, freaking Gillespie, everything up to LAX, all that stuff is all being run under what's referred to as SoCal Tracon, which is actually out in Palmdale. That's not true. Is in San Diego. LA Center's out in Palmdale, but SoCal Tracon runs everything with the exception of the airspace around Travis Air Force Base and kind of a little bit over towards Vegas where Nellis ties in that. But they run everything from basically the Mexican border to just south of San Francisco. And then there's another facility in Sacramento, NorCal Tracon, that runs from there all the way to Oregon and off the coast and up to Reno. So those guys, they deal big airspace. Like they got tens of thousands of miles. Like it's crazy.
Right. Damn. Hey, click on that comment real quick before we go. I want to know what she means by that.
Which one? Who you got?
About nerd.
Let's see. Did I miss it? Oh, right here.
It's the only time I'm hearing this, and I want to know if this fucking little weirdo Donnie from Nerd has a problem. Because if he does, he could just fucking come to me, and we could just talk about it. Because that's what I'm saying. That's it. Go and read.
Threw out a few, including MJ, and he was like snake trap. Then he said he's asking so he can go copy their content. Who knows, man? I don't know, dude. Hit up Jeremy, man. I talk to Jeremy all the time. He's on the inside.
I ain't hitting up none of those fucking weirdos. Fuck Nerd. That's all I gotta say.
You got beef with Nerd?
No, I ain't got no beef with Nerd. They're vegans. They don't even eat beef, bro. I'll eat them motherfuckers up. Fuck Nerd. If they got a problem, if Nerd got a problem, come fucking see me, bro. And Jeremy's a little bitch too. He unfollowed me. He got a little problem. Then come fucking see me. I'm tired of fucking Nerd throwing out their little fucking digs here and there. Fuck Nerd. Sorry, bro. I just don't put up.
Dude, you're on deck, man. This is your open mic, not mine.
Sell a basin that don't die, Nerd. Don't come at me with that bullshit. Running their damn mouth. Fuck Nerd. They ain't shit. It's the new breed, bro. It's the new shit, and Nerd's dying out, bro. That's all I gotta say. Fuck Nerd. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was a good time. I love you guys. This was awesome.
And I'm out now. Cool, man. Well, here's the thing. I know all of you guys that do these podcasts and stuff on YouTube. And while we're getting into this, if anybody in here in the chat, we still got 46 people on deck. If anybody's got any questions for me or MJ, definitely drop them in and I'll pick them up and we'll ask. But I know all of you guys have your hot seat, your rapid fire, your lightning round, all your funky questions. I don't have any of those because like we talked about before, I don't script or plan anything. Everything's 100% off the cuff. So I'll probably just make some up and I'll probably steal some from you and from Joel and from Adam and everybody else. But, let's, you got time for just some random ass questions off the top?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it. Right off the top.
Are you a whiskey or beer person?
Whiskey. What
kind?
Shit. I don't drink no more, just for the record. I haven't been drinking in 2 months.
Any particular reason?
Just because it doesn't make me feel good no more. I don't know.
Yeah, you got other stuff for that.
I listen to my body now. So if my body tells me this, this don't feel good, I don't do it. So, and alcohol, unfortunately, I mean, not even unfortunately, alcohol is bad for you, man. Alcohol is a fucking, and not to hate because, I used to drink a shit ton of alcohol, but I know that alcohol feels good for a reason, but luckily my body rejects it now. So I don't drink, but Bullet or, McCallahan, those were my shit. Yeah, right there, those two.
All right. Are you more of a for lack of knowledge on the terminology appropriate, are you more of a bud or dab person?
I would have to. I love bud. Like I keep bud on deck, but I'm a dabber. Like I got to dab because like I have to smoke too much weed to feel what one dab does to me. You know what I mean? And I don't smoke. I don't smoke to look cool. I don't smoke to be cool. I smoke because I legitimately need it. I wake up and I smoke. I wake up, I hit a dab, and that's it. I'm in the zone for a long time. And yeah, sometimes I crash by like 1, 2 o'clock because I'm up at like 4 a.m. I'm fucking roosters are fucking calling and shit, and the alpacas need to eat. They start calling, so I'm up early, bro. So I smoke, and have a cup of coffee a day, and that's it. That's all I need, bro. That, obviously food, but
little sideline here. Patrick Canifax says that Donnie talks good about you, so I don't know what the heat is, but there you go. So there's something there. Riley's on deck. He gets it. Whiskey, weed, and reptiles. So.
Oh, yeah. See, Riley's my boy, bro. He understands. He understands the circle of shit. You know what I mean? So.
Can you explain to me this sentence? Because I don't get the slang. what does this Cali weed is loud mean?
Loud, like meaning the smell. It smells so fucking crazy that it's loud. Like, you know, it's smoke that you could. It smells so crazy that you could hear it. Like, it's called
Is that
loud.
like saying you can taste purple? Like, is that saying
What?
you can taste colors and
Weed? You could taste. I mean, you could taste like purple. I mean, you could know. I mean, here's the thing. You know when it's purple weed just by the taste. You know, other than looking at it, like purple's purple, and
is
I don't
purple
know.
like a line bred, like a trait? Like, is there? Okay, let me ask you this because I'm legitimately curious. Before I do, I guess I got to send you $5 because Balls set you up for rigs or pen for dabs. So I got to send you some money. Like,
I don't need the $5. You keep that. But what?
So
Say that again.
I am curious because I got into a discussion back in the summer sometime when I was back home with a guy that makes his own wine. Okay. And he started asking me about snakes, and we got talking about genes and, you know, pairings and, you know, line breeding and all that bullshit. And I got way too deep into the science of it and that. But come to find out, there's a lot of similarities to making specific types of wine as there is to breeding snakes. And when it comes to either line breeding for a specific flavor or color note or whatever of grape, or blending pairs to make a certain kind or whatever, is weed the same? First of all, do you grow yourself? And secondly, is it the same thing? Is it that in depth like it is breeding animals?
Are you asking if there's blends and shit? Like, if
Yeah,
that's like,
is there morphs, so to speak?
yeah, of course, bro. So I mean, that's what sativas, indicas, hybrids, right? So you know what a sativa is. Do you know how, like, what that strand of
One's up and one's down, right? Like,
yeah,
one's more of like a head high and a body high.
one's a thinker and one's a knocker. You know what I mean? One gets you thinking, your heart races a little bit, and then one you want to eat and you're out. Like, you don't think of nothing but food and sleep, right?
I dabbled back in the day. Like, I just can't anymore though. The military does that to you.
Yeah, I hear. Don't worry about it. But yeah, man, there's definitely, dude. My God, dude, I can't even tell you how many strands there are. It's gotten to a point where they just make fucking names up, and it's all based from like the same, like, you know, Kush strand or OG strand. But man, there's like I guess, pillared strands that have been around that multiplied into like other strands, but everything's based off strands. So, I mean, you have hybrids, which are the combination of indica and sativa, and then you just have solely sativa and solely indica. But like what I was saying, everything's so combined nowadays. Everything's almost hybrid. I mean, you do have sativas and shit, and you do have your heavy indicas, but the stuff that has like crazy names and all this crazy shit, those are hybrids. That's a mix of both for the most part.
So let me ask you this. Before I do, there's a little clarification here from Balls of Paradise. It was asking you a question.
That's too funny.
Rigs or pens? I don't know what that means, but there you go. Rigs or pens.
Is that the same $5, or did he drop another $5?
He dropped another because I didn't understand what he was doing.
Save your money for my channel, fucker. I'm just kidding. No, it's a joke. Aaron hooks it up all the time. Rigs or pens for smoking dabs? Rigs, bro. Pens just don't, unless you're traveling, bro. You can't bring a rig, then bring your pen, right? But if I had a pen and I had a rig in front of me, I'm doing the rig over the pen all damn day.
So for those of us that are dumb, is a rig would be effectively like having a full size bong as opposed to having like a vape that you take with you.
A little, and this is a pen.
Got it. Okay, so that's no different than vaping, really, right?
Right, but it's weed. You're not vaping fucking, flavored fucking liquid. You're actually smoking actual.
Okay.
Yeah, you're smoking concentrate.
Well, there you go. I learned something new.
Yep.
So, I mean, is there the same kind of thing in weed like there is in ball pythons, where, say, like, we all know that if you buy an animal that comes out of Justin's place, it comes with like a Justin, for lack of better terms, a Justin tax, a Justin premium, and it's top quality, the best kind of shit there is. If you buy something out of Ozzy's place, it's the same way. You buy something out of the guy that just showed up to the Bakersfield Reptile show that's never, been on deck, and he just started breeding last year. It's a totally different kind of. Is there that kind of like hierarchy and lineage of where this stuff comes from?
I mean, there's actually people who harvest, right? And no disrespect to the homie in UK, unless you're fucking in Amsterdam, really getting shit, which is even hard to get in Amsterdam nowadays. Like, the real weed, the bombest fucking weed in the world comes from Northern California, okay? Comes from Washington, like NorCal and British Columbia, Canada. That's
freaking
where
Mendes or not. Yeah, what not Mendocino. What's my best man went to college up there.
In British Columbia? Are you talking
about? No, in NorCal. There's where's the
Humboldt
Humboldt County,
so
yeah.
For instance, Humboldt, right? Humboldt is literally a town that governs itself, okay? Since for I don't know how long they've governed themselves, to the point where like weed was so illegal at the point, but they were able to somehow keep their crops and keep everything going. And where do you think fucking they were selling their shit? People who would drive up and literally fucking straight cross states with all their shit, and that's where they made all their money. But now it's to the point where they wholesale it. Now they're, you know, they've always wholesale, but now it's legal. You know what I mean? But there's still a lot of fucking, you know, when you have that much weed and shit like that, like the people who are really producing the bomb ass weed are still doing it in an illegal like fashion. It's still like, it's not like, I mean, it's really hard to do things that the government wants you to do by, because it's the government.
Doubt. Yeah.
It's the government, bro. So
there was that whole Murder Mountain series and that happened around that Humboldt thing. And like, I learned a lot just by watching that. I had no idea that it was that backwards up there.
It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I mean, people don't know a lot of things, man, but it's all history.
Like a third world country. It's like totally different, man.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. And that's why, you know, I hate to like, you know, it sucks because I guess I am one to brag, but I only brag when I feel like I legitimately have a good reason to fucking brag. And I literally come from a place that has the best Mexican food. I fucking will take that to my grave.
No doubt.
I live in a state that gets, for the most part, some of the best weed that you can get your hands on. And people in my stories want to argue with me all the time. And I'm like, bro, and you know what I mean? Now I just delete the fuck. When I see it's about that, I just delete it. But god damn it, I feel like I could, if you try to give me a legitimate reason why San Diego Mexican food isn't the best and why Cali weed isn't the bombest, then I mean, dude, I don't know. It's wild. But listen, I'm blessed. I love where I'm from, bro. I love it. I love it. I'm blessed, bro.
Dude, if it was not for the California politics and the SoCal prices, I'd have to be in San Diego, man. That's a great city.
We'd be better than Texas.
Yeah, no doubt. I love I can't stand LA and SoCal. I love San Diego. It's a great area.
Oh my god, dude, this girl's now I feel bad going off nerd, because now look what this girl's saying. She is tripping, bro.
What I miss?
Dog. She is tripping.
Was it farther up?
It's the lowest. It's the most recent one. She's
here.
Dog.
Dude, Tex-Mex is a totally different animal, man. That's
disgusting. Oh, I hate Tex. It's like literally the whitest Mexican food you could ever have. Like they put pico de gallo more than they put meat. That doesn't make any sense. And it's not even real meat. Don't go there with me with Tex-Mex, please. I'll smash that place down. That place is terrible. Oh jeez. God. Well, now she probably made up that whole nerd thing, but whatever. I've heard from multiple sources of so she ain't the only one, but still, she's tripping on the Tex-Mex, bro.
So we did have a question up here a little bit back. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Where'd it go? There it is. Cascade Creators wanted to know thoughts on working with Orange Ghost and Bells. I know you had a pretty killer OG clutch this past season, didn't you?
Yeah. This one knows what my thoughts are. I think we talked about it. But I literally created, and I'm not just saying this, but I created fucking the nicest bail combo I have yet to see anywhere. I went all over, and it was this is what I assumed to be, and I'm calling it this because I'm keeping it, and I'll prove it out. But it's a Blue Eye Lucy Orange Ghost GHI.
Yeah.
And it's fucking very nice. It's one of those things where you're like, you don't need to put a black light on it to tell that it's a bell combo. It's just like, what? Like, you know what I mean? So I want to know more about it. I want to get more involved in it. And I'm man, if you could somehow, you know what I mean, dabble in the Orange Ghost with, true Orange Ghost, because a lot of people say Orange Ghost is hypo. I personally don't think that. I think they mix.
It's definitely different for sure. I've seen like some just straight up like OG pastels that look totally different than a hypo pastel. There is definitely orange in it for sure.
Yeah.
They're definitely different.
But yeah, OG is a different form of hypo, and I know this for a fact because I'm working with it and I'm producing it. And I've had, you could bring this up with Steven if you want, but me and him kind of went back and forth because I would send him pictures and I would tell him what it was, and he's like, "No, sorry, that's a lesser." And I'm like, "No, bro, there's no lesser in this fucking mix whatsoever." And he was really, stunned by it, but because of the orange ghost, it had orange ghost in it, and yeah, man, I'm just telling you, there's still a lot more work to be done, and I guarantee there's more crazier shit that could be done with it. And it's just, I'm excited to work with it, and I don't know if I just have something special with the orange ghost, but yeah, man, I would if anyone was looking for a project that's, I don't want to say dirt cheap, but goddamn, it's not going to break your bank, know. And if you want to, kind of interact it, because hypo, think about it. Hypo's not bad in anything. I don't know why so many fucking people sleep on hypo. I mean, people are like, it's getting more popular, but Jesus Christ, hypo was one of the first things I wanted to keep since the beginning. And Orange Ghost is a relative of a hypo. And they even if you have something that's hypo and you add something that's Orange Ghost, they will complement each other and you'll get something sick from what I could tell. So yeah, man, go for it.
So did you do visual to visual to make that?
So what, the one we were just talking, the GHI or the bell? We're talking about the bell.
The bell that's GHI, right? You got a combo there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I just talked about a GHI. Okay, I was talking about a different GHI that Steven said that looked lesser. Anyways.
Oh yeah. No, the one you made.
Okay, yeah. So so what made that combo? It was a Orange Ghost Mojave paired to a GHI Mojave hypo. Het hypo. So it was a visual Orange Ghost to a het hypo.
And so you able to pick out the visual hypos pretty easily on a bell being all white?
Last year I did, and this year was even easier.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep. And what's crazy is last year I hit an Orange Ghost bell last year. And you see this sometimes already in other bells. There's like a little yellow stripe going down the back.
Yeah.
But this shit made it look like a highway. Like it's out there. Like it's just out.
It's interesting too, because you ended up making a GHI Mojave hypo, which looks badass as it is, and then added one other gene underneath it that took every bit of color away, which is just crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
As dark as a GHI Mojave hypo is, that's
so. What I'm thinking is putting another GHI to that bell. You know what I mean? And making a super GHI bell. You know what I mean?
I wonder if you're going to start bringing any color back if you can overpower it.
We'll find out.
Yeah, no, that'd be rad. It's interesting. They followed up. They asked, should you keep your OG separate from your hypo?
No, fuck. I mean, it's up to you what you want. If you want to, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's projects that I want to keep pure Orange Ghost, but when I was pairing last year, I said, fuck it. I want to see what Orange Ghost and hypo do to each other. Yeah. So if you're curious, then do it. And I don't know. All I know that it works. It works.
Well, and one, as far as I can tell, one doesn't carry a premium over another. It's not like this whole hurricane trick blitz debacle that's going on right now. As far as I'm concerned, it's if you like one over the other, you can line breed for it. You can do all OGs and keep the brightest orange or the most color, whatever. That's fine. Or you do like I do. And as far as I'm concerned, I have all bananas in my collection. I don't have any coral glows. And if I buy something that's coral glow, it becomes a banana. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're bananas, and I don't want to keep it. It's too confusing to have multiple names for the same thing, And it's like, so you could just do that. You could say, you could blend all your hypo, because there's fucking 4 or 5 different lines of hypo now or something. Like you could blend them all and they could all be ghost. It doesn't matter. Or you could line breed because you like what OG does and keep that separate and do hypo on the other side. Like like you said, it's really up to you.
There's also, and I'm dead ass serious about this, I feel like there's an Orange Ghost and hypo like almost to where it's its own, like there's
a
both it looks like there's both in there. It almost looks like
like a double visual. Like if you did a VPI and a TSK Xanthic.
I had a picture of it, man. I would show you, but dude, I'm telling you, I hatched out this GHI. I want to say there's Mojave in it, or it could just be Orange Ghost, but I've seen Corey Woods or something from Canada. Yep. But Corey Woods, he's bred GHI orange ghosts, and they don't look anything like this. And this fucking thing literally obviously looks hypo, but it looks lesser. But there's no lesser in the mix whatsoever. So obviously it's Mojave, right? But it's just different, bro. Like, I don't even know. It's just a different fucking, yeah, it's wild. So I kept it. Obviously, it's a female, so we'll see what happens. I'm pretty confident that motherfuckers are sleeping on hypo, but definitely on orange ghost as well. And I don't know, man. Those things, that little ingredient to like the right combo could take you far in this hobby, man.
No doubt, man. I mean, I made that yellow belly mimosa female this year that I kept back that just like knocked my socks off, you know. And I could only imagine had I made that pairing with a really nice line bred orange ghost that had that really heavy orange influence, you know, like that thing had a fluorescent orange head and that solid gray body to begin with.
Yeah,
you know, it could be nuts to just add to it. Let's see here. Lily says, as a beginner, do you suggest getting multi-gene animals or 1-2-gene animal? Not sure I quite understand.
That all depends on what you want to do, Lily. That depends on your projects. I mean, that right there has nothing to do with the experience. Obviously one will cost more than the other, right?
Of course.
Right. But I mean, what I tell people all the time, because they ask me, hey, what should I work with? And that's literally a question you need to ask yourself. Like, that's Absolutely. When you need to go through all the YouTube videos and go through all the Instagram accounts and see what people work with and find out what you want to make. And sometimes you could, like, literally it's up to you what you want to make. You can make your own mixes. You know what I mean? There's no rules to this technically. And honestly, the people who are successful do this shit with no rules, you know? So, I mean, that's a soul searching question for you right there, Lily.
Yeah. And I actually made a video about that. I actually made a video about this, this question a while back, and it was about if I had the ability to start over from scratch. You know, you got to decide, like MJ says, you got to do something that you enjoy. You got, you know, there's projects you like let's say, for instance, you're really drawn to pieds, which I liked pieds a lot. So if I were to start over, because I make very basic pieds right now, because I have just a normal pied and a couple of het pieds or whatever. But if I were to start over back, you know, and you're buying snakes slowly and building a collection methodically, if you actually had a legitimate game plan, you know, if you to do, say 4 multi-combo, 2, 3, 4 gene combo, 100% het pied females with really cool stuff in them, Enchi, pinstripe, yellow belly, orange dream, you know, banana, whatever, right? And start raising them up. First, that gives you the opportunity to learn the animals, learn the care, the husbandry, all that stuff. Then when they get to that, you know, 1,000-gram range or so, then you start looking for that one banger key male, the visual, either just a visual pied because you've got multi-codom females, or even something that's combo. So like, let's say you pick up a orange dream yellow belly pied from Justin or something. Now you put that male to the 3 or 4 combo females that you make, and you start banging out like ridiculously cool combos, start holding back visuals, you know, replace those up, and that increases your odds, the whole 9 yards. So that's probably what I would do. But if you find out that you like, you know, let's say you really like GHI and you want to see what you can do with it, man, get into GHI and start, you know, put a handful of females with GHI on the shelf, and then start finding some cool combos that you can add to it. So like MJ said, it really comes down to, and everybody tells you this, it doesn't matter who you ask in this hobby. If you ask the question, what should I be working with? The answer will always be whatever you like, whatever tickles your fancy, man. Pick that and run. Let's see. Paul Clark asks, do you know anything about the angel dust fire yellow belly bamboo?
That has to be a question for you, bro. I'm not a ball python guy. I love ball pythons, but I don't know any of that fucking angel dust shit. That's wild.
That's out of my realm of knowledge, dude. This could be some make-believe fucking unicorn thing for all I know. Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. That's what made me get out of it, bro. I was like, I can't keep up no more. People are coming up with shit and like.
You sure angel dust fire bamboo is not a strain of something you got over there? Like,
oh man, I would be hallucinating if that was the case. I would have said a lot more on my mind about what I just ranted on earlier. Trust me, if I was on angel dust.
All right, man. Here's a banger for you because you're the straight shooter here. You're not afraid to light somebody up that deserves it.
Oh God, I've already
If
lit
some
dude. So are we really gonna do this?
if someone sells you a snake that ends up with an RI or comes with mites, I'll add to this question within days. Do you complain? What's the etiquette here?
So, I mean, obviously it's case by case, because that could happen to anybody, dude. I don't give a shit how legit your fucking following is, how long you've been doing something. RI could happen from just fucking being too cold during shipment.
Yep.
And mites happen too, man. Mites are mites. Don't fucking act like I've never had mites. You're lying to yourself, dude. People have gotten mites. It's like kind of like almost like a stripe that you have to earn to continue forward in the collection game because mites will happen. You got to know how to deal with mites. Like for instance, you could have a perfect immaculate collection, never had mites, finally got a new snake in the mail, and it has mites. What are you gonna do? You got to be ready for it. There's simple steps you could do to take care of mites. And there's also steps you could do to take care of RIs, depending on where it's at. You know what I mean? But it's being knowledgeable, knowing what to do. Knowledge is power, right? Things happen. I'm actually lucky. Like, listen, as much as fucking I'm like, I'll never do imports again. Because of the imports, I fucking know a thing or two.
No doubt. Yeah.
And I, you know what I mean? I'm not, I can handle seeing a dead snake. I could fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a lot more firm with my shit now. And it is what it is because if we're dealing with nature, we're dealing with animals. Things are going to fucking like whatever we have today may not be here tomorrow, may not be here in an hour. You know what I mean? It could just be gone. But it's all about how you pick yourself up. And it's all about the knowledge, man. I mean, you got to be prepared for anything. I mean, like importers also taught me if a snake's not eating, what do you have in your freezer as an option? There's like a list of options. Like, and I never knew you could offer a lizard. I never knew you could offer a fucking frog. But it's all, all shit I know now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But fuck, man, I'm telling you, man, the more you step out of your comfort zone and you push yourself, the quicker you'll learn. But you also don't want to put yourself in a bad position either. And I've luckily ducked out of a couple bad positions that could have went really bad, but because of the knowledge that I was able to get with the people who are around me, man, find a mentor, literally find a mentor. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and no doubt. And I got to add too, as far as the etiquette side of it is concerned, those that have been following me from the beginning will remember the time that I stuffed my size 13 foot as far down my throat as I could by calling out publicly on an Instagram story and on my page one of the old school veteran breeders who I didn't know was an old school veteran guy. I didn't know he was been around forever, about his horrendous shipping practices. I got this snake from him in a standard brown UPS box with no packing in it, the fucking heat pack laying on top of him, the whole 9 yards. And I put it up. I'm like, this is not correct. This is not how this works. It's not even legal. It doesn't say anything about reptiles, yada, yada, yada. And I spent 48 hours in full-blown damage control trying to make it so that I didn't completely bury my reputation before I ever had one to start with. So when it comes to the etiquette side of it, if you got an issue with a breeder or you got an issue with an animal you get from somebody, man, just go directly to them. Be like, hey, I'm not big on this. I don't like this. What do you think? What are we going to do from here? And MJ got frozen. Probably one of the funniest facial expressions I've seen so far. You're back. All right. But yeah, dude, I made an absolute fool of myself with that. And it took me a long time to.
I got to know who the breeder is. Who's the breeder?
You know who what was his name?
Don't act dumb.
No, it's I don't remember his last name. His name's Rodney. It's
Rodney?
RM Night Stalkers. Does that sound right?
I don't know. You said it was a big breeder. Who the fuck is that?
I didn't say big. I said old school, like had been around forever.
Got it. Okay. I was like, what? I was like expecting to hear something juicy right now.
No.
Man, people, dude, you got to understand, man. Shout out to the old school breeders who do what has always worked for them. And even if it's not like, technically what's supposed to be done nowadays, dude, it still works. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like, God, man, like, I don't know.
All right. What's this one say? Yeah. What would you do if you bought a snake for $2,500 and when you opened the box, there was something else in it?
Get your refund, but you got to hit them up immediately.
Immediately.
Obviously
So,
you get what you pay for, right? So you gotta literally fucking not wait a day, not wait 2 days, not wait 3 days. The day you fucking get that animal, you take a picture and you say, hey, this isn't what I paid for. Wait for a response, hear what he has to say. And at the end of the day, it should either be send that animal back, I'll give you a refund, or send that animal back and I'll send you the one you want. Or if he's really legit, he'll say, keep that one, I'll send you the one that you paid for too.
yep.
I've had that happen to me and I couldn't believe it, where they gave me the wrong snake and I was like, I got to hear what they have to say. And they felt so bad to where they let me keep that snake and they sent me the one I wanted. So you never know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're all human. People make mistakes. Like I just told my wife this afternoon when I got home from work, I was like, I got to go spend a couple hours in the snake room just getting caught up on paperwork. Like I need to get my records current. I need to get labels on tubs for people that bought stuff from the Black Friday sale. Hell, right. 3 months ago, I sold the same snake twice to 2 different people. You know, shit happens. The fact is, like, I don't know how MJ does it, but when I ship an animal out, on the very top, when you open the flap of the box, the very first thing you see, unless you're somebody that is a personal friend or somebody I've shipped multiple animals to, the very first thing on top is a piece of paper with a write-up from me that basically outlines, look, if this thing doesn't make it past the first 48 hours because your husbandry sucks, that's not my problem. I can't control that. But if there's an issue, if it's dead, if it's not what it's supposed to be, if something's wrong, you have a set time window from the time that I get the email from FedEx that you signed for it to message me, to be in the window, and I'll make it right. I'll deal with it. And that's just the easiest way to answer. Like you just, and like MJ said, it's got to be immediate. You got to be on top of that shit. Don't wait 3 days and be like, hey, by the way, this isn't what I wanted. Like that's long and done by then.
Yeah. I mean, I'm knock on wood, I've yet to have to deal with either a dead arrival or a snake dying, within kind of period, not dying period. You know what I mean? And I'm sure, unfortunately, that day is going to happen because we're just in that hobby. You know, that day, the more snakes you produce, the more fucking chance you're going to have where a snake rolls on you or on a customer. But listen, at the end of the day, negligence is on the customer. If you don't fucking do what the protocols are, and I make this very clear, like, here's the thing. And I go in on these people, bro. I mean, and when I say people, my own customers, I go in on them if I tell them I'm shipping this animal to the hub, okay? That means the hub opens at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., whatever the fuck. That means you need to be there and pick up that snake. If you pick up that snake at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the evening and it's been sitting there, that's on you, dude. Sorry, boo-boo. But if that snake has died or anything, that's fucking on you. I will feel no responsibility on that because you did not immediately take that fucking thing and put it in your hands. I did my job. I got it to you where it said available for pickup, and you just got to be there. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just saying, like, this is not my responsibility. And I've had, what's crazy is some of my most expensive packages, man. I think I had like a fucking $6,000 package sent out to this guy who like waited 3 months to pay it off, but he did. And I finally sent it to him and he picks it up 5 minutes before the hub closes. All day. I'm like, bro, it's there. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna go. And I'm refreshing. My whole day was ruined because of that. You know, and I thought like something bad happened. Oh man, I don't know. But like that shit right there, like, man, it's crazy because, dude, I don't know, man. There's just people out there where these animals just aren't as important to them as they are to us, you know? And my biggest fear is to sell an animal to somebody like that.
No doubt. And sometimes you can suss that out pretty quick. I had a guy that wanted, I almost exclusively ship to hubs, and I only accept animals to the hub here in town. You know, right. And I mentioned that to this guy. He bought this animal. He wanted it. He's like, well, the hub's like an hour drive from me. He's like, my wife's gonna be home all day. Can you just ship to the house? I'm like, that's not my policy, dude. I ship to the hub, especially in the winter, man. I don't screw with that. He's like, well, I'm gonna have somebody home all day. I was like, all right, dude. I'm putting it in bold ass print on the message exchange between us. I've got screenshots if this doesn't work. If you want it dropped off at your front door, that's on you. And if it shows up and it sits out there and freezes, that's also on you. And my 48-hour guarantee does not exist because that's based on sending it to the hub, period.
Yep.
And you got to be clear with them. And the guy's like, oh, that's bullshit. Never mind. I'm like, dude, keep your money. I don't need my stuff going to you anyway. You know what I mean?
Stupid. Yeah.
So that they came back, when Leah came back and said, he told me I could send it back, but he was going to keep 500 of the 2,500.
So who is it, Malia? You can't just be. You want me to help you? I gotta find out who the person is. Is it an importer? Is it a breeder? Ball python? Let's give us more information right here.
See, MJ is willing to put these guys on deck and tell them what's up. I'm a little bit more scared.
If I know him too, I'll reach out to him for you.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, that's not right.
So we'll wait till she comes back. Somebody came up here and asked, Alyssa asked, so what's the best mite protocol? And I'll jump in here. A bunch of people were adding a bunch of suggestions and things to help in that. Prevenamite's a big deal, but I'll tell you what, I'm not even gonna give you any tips. I'm gonna tell you, when you're done with this live stream, head over to Triple B TV to Brian Cusco's channel and type in the term mite. And I have it saved in my watch later playlist from 3 years ago. He has hands down the best home remedy mite video on the internet.
My remedy is from that video, so it's funny.
Absolutely. I have a premix that I made myself from his video. Garrett Hartle's got one too, but yeah, just head over to Triple B and check that out.
You got to stick to what he says. I'm telling you right now. Like stick to exactly what he says with the whole no. What it is you don't put water, literally no water for 3 days, and then do the other stuff. But as long as you do no water for 3 days, you're straight. But yeah, check that video out. He knows what he's doing. Shout out to Brian. He helped me with that one too.
All right, here you go.
All right. Oh, I don't know who that is, dude. Who's Balthazar? I know. What is Balthazar? What is that?
Balthazar. I know of them. I've never talked to them or done dealings with them. So,
or what?
No, they're just they're U.S. ball python breeders.
So they're ball python. So, dude. So technically, dude, this is very FBI ball python shit. You can't do this. Yeah. Like, where does somebody pay $1,500? They send the wrong snake and they say, no problem. Send me back the snake. I'm gonna keep $500. This is not okay.
Yeah.
If you're not capping this and this is real shit, and capping means if you're not lying, by the way, just to inform you
not bullets. Again, I don't get your lingo.
That's why I'm helping you. Capping means not lying. Right? So if you're being for reals and they kept $500, then there's other people fucking literally. Oh man, okay, so hold on. There's a guy, and I don't know. I'm not going to say he's making a fool of himself, but dude, really, like, come on. But there's a guy out there who's fucking putting a video out there because he did a breeder loan, and the breeder loan went really bad. You did a breeder loan. Dude, you did a breeder loan.
I got a message about this 3 days ago. Somebody wanted my opinion on that.
A breeder loan is the worst thing you can do, bro. Dude, it's a breeder loan. Why you bitching? You fucked up. You did a breeder loan. Breeder loans are the worst fucking deal you could ever do because it's simply he said, she said. Because if the other person comes on, they can explain their story, and then nobody's right or wrong. You're fucked. So you're just making, and no offense to that, dude. I'm just saying you made yourself look like an idiot. You did.
Yeah, I did two or three breeder loans this year, partner pairings with a good buddy of mine that I helped kind of get going in this game. And then I have I've not told anybody this project, but I have a pretty high dollar, high profile animal on its way from an import process from a buddy of mine that we're tag teaming on. But you got to be super fucking delicate with that, man. Like I honestly don't recommend it for most people. It's not. And in fact, when my customer messaged me a couple of days ago and asked me about this, I was like, man, if you're going to do it, you need to have everything be 100% clear and on deck. And you need to have like written down copies of what the plan was and who gets what and when, because someday you're going to get to the end of this and the whole clutch is going to die, or it's all going to turn out to be male normals or whatever. And somebody's going to be pissed. And unless you have it written on paper and everybody's agreed to it, you got nothing to go on. So I don't screw with it, man. It's dangerous.
I have people who hit me up. I don't even respond to that, bro. Yeah, right. I'm not going to say I've never done it, but I've never no, bro. Like I'm not trying to create more of a headache than I'd rather just worry about my animals, what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't need no fucking loan for shit. You know what I mean? And if you do it, that's like buying an import and it dies on you. That's the gamble you took. That's your loss, bro.
Yep, definitely. So Mike, I don't need to, we're getting long in here, so I don't want to get too deep, but Mike said he's not heard much good about Balthazar in general. Like I said, I've not dealt with him. And and Malia came back and said that she bought a blood python from him. So, you know, at this point, I would.
I think we should stop giving these people clout.
Yeah, and if nothing else, I know it's not a ball python.
On.
I know it's not a ball python. I'll say this, but if you can get into one of the FBI, like I know they're all fucking terrible, but if you can get into one of the FBI groups on Facebook and just, you got to be clear about, you got to be like we talked about the etiquette. You got to be simple. Don't just go on and light this dude up. Have screenshots ready. Be like, hey, I've got this issue. Yeah, I've got this issue. This is what I paid. This is what I was supposed to get. This is what I got. And this is the outcome. What now? And if people start giving you tips and they want you to bring in, or an admin wants you to bring in the name of the breeder, then go for it. But you got to be delicate with this for sure. Because the last thing you need to do is light somebody up and burn a bridge unless they truly deserve it, you know?
Yeah. Unless they're repeatedly asking for it. Like, you know who, if they keep asking for and asking for it, fucking light that bridge. And if it's not even a bridge, okay, bridge is something you connect to, right? And if that's something you're never going to connect yourself to, burn that motherfucker. That's all I gotta say.
I'm not sure I'm clear on who you're referring to.
Whatever, man. All I gotta say is, bro, just fucking, if something's not right, then make sure you make it right. Do what you gotta do to make it right. And like $500, that's hard-earned money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and business is business. That's not good business. And at the end of the day, what makes people amazing in this hobby are people who do legit business. You know what I mean? That's why people like JKR, people like Ozzy, those are the glorified fucking people in the hobby, because they're strictly business, and they're amazing people, but they're business. They're all about the business. Oh, hell no, bro.
Got one of my dudes up in here. Came to say hi.
I'm straight. Peace out. What the problem is.
Yeah. So, and that's, you know, we'll get off of that, but it's kind of hard to think that they're treating you this way, because at the end of the day, we are nothing but our reputation and our name and our brand. And if somebody's going to be like that to you and you put them on blast, you'll ruin their business. And if they're going to be that way, then rightfully so. So we'll leave it at that. MJ, you know, it's been 2 hours, man. I'll let you go. I know you've got a life and I got to get up early, and everybody's been here a long time. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. It was awesome.
I really appreciate you hanging out. Everybody, thanks for showing up, and thanks for Jeremy for checking in as we're leaving. So, you know, it's been real, dude. I really appreciate being the first one on deck for this open mic, and we'll stay in touch for sure.
And make sure you rewatch. If you're late to this, make sure you rewatch it. It's important. Make sure you rewatch it if you're late to it.
No doubt, man. It's not all snakes, man. We got some insight on MJ, and he taught me how to speak hood, apparently. So we'll let him go. I'll chat with you guys for just a minute. We'll head out. MJ, right. if you want to hang out in the back for just a second, I'll be back with you, and I'll let these guys go.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. I really appreciate it for sticking out for 2 hours of this, man. That's super rad. I can't thank you guys enough. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this every Saturday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. If you're just now checking in, next week, make damn sure you are subscribed and ready to go, because we've got arguably one of the most important people in this whole community through Desiree and Stephen Cush of Cold Blooded Cafe, Reptech, the whole 9 yards, man. I mean, best frozen rodents on in the country, and that. So we'll definitely talk to them about their rodent operation and everything going on up in their world. So I'm super excited to have those guys on the show, and that's going to be next level. I do have these scheduled out all the way till just about the end of December, or January rather. It's like 6, 7, 8 weeks out. So we got some really cool people on deck. Some really fun guys, different breeders, different species, the whole 9 yards. I just want to hang out and just, get some background on these people and be cool with them. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate all of your time and the super chats, and I'll see all of you guys in the next video. See ya.